Hey, buongiorno everybody. We're here and it's Thanksgiving week, and so I'm going to share something fun with you. So hold on. Okay, so happy Monday. Buongiorno, or as we say, buon lunedì. So happy Monday. So today, we've got Thanksgiving week here now. And, I trying to do some things that are a little different for Thanksgiving than not everybody does. One of the things I like to do Thanksgiving Day is I make breakfast ahead of time. So one of the things I like to do is I will make something that I can just have ready to go, that I can throw in the oven, that it's something yummy and it's something quick but homemade, and it shuts everybody up while I'm cooking and them saying, what's to eat? So one of the things I do is I make some scones or cornetti. I think I've done the cornetti video before, but I don't think I've done the scones. And I know they're not Italian, they're not even American, they're English, or they call them scones, if I remember correctly. A scone. But anyway, I don't speak British. So anyway, but in America we call them scones, and what I'm gonna do is I make a base dough, and then I add my additions to them. So and today we're gonna make some pumpkin ones, some cinnamon raisin, and some cranberry orange, because these all go really good with the Thanksgiving theme, and they're just yummy. So we shall get started. It's a really easy recipe, and I promise, I know I'm not always good at this, but I promise today I'll throw it up on my blog and post it on my Facebook page so that you can find it and use it. So what I do is I make them, I put them in discs, and I pat them down, I wrap them in plastic, and I put them in the freezer. So then Thursday morning, all I gotta do is take them out of the freezer, and they don't freeze like solid, but even if you just leave them out 5 minutes, take this wonderful cutter or a big knife, and I just cut them into my little, pie-shaped wedges. Sometimes I make them smaller, so sometimes I'll make smaller discs and make mini scones, so that way everybody can taste all the different flavors and not get too full. Or I'll make the big traditional size, pie slice of pie size scones. But anyway, but I put them in the freezer. I cut them up that morning, and I just put them on a pan, stick them in the oven. And about 20 minutes, well, depending if I make the small ones or the big ones, 25 minutes later, I've got these beautiful hot scones right out of the oven, and everybody chows down on them. And then I make enough of them that there's a platter of them. So as they're running through, they grab one here, grab one there, and it keeps them out of my hair. Hey, that rhymed. Grab one here, grab one there, keeps them out of my hair while I'm cooking. So today I'm gonna use the big mixer because I'm making a quadruple batch. And that will give me either 4 big discs or 8 little ones, depending how many flavors I want to make, or just if I want to make the minis or the bigs. So that's that. So I will give you the single recipe on when I write it out, and you can multiply it as many times as you want. Maybe I'll throw the ×4 on there just for fun. So anyway, let's see here, I'll just use this one. So I have here, this is a quadruple batch. Like I said, I'm gonna make 3 or 4 flavors. I'll probably make, I don't know, maybe 3, and then I'll do like 2 discs of one, like maybe the pumpkin or the cranberry orange. Oh, they're so good. And I've got some nice cranberries that I just took out of the freezer, so they've just softened up enough. I cut them in half. So anyway. All right, so we're just gonna throw everything. It's not a really difficult recipe. Actually, you know what? Let's cut up the butter first. You know me, I just kind of wing it because this is the home of cooking. Yes, I could be being fancy, and I can, and I know how. There's all the order to do things, but I want you to know that things come out good no matter what. And even if it comes out a little not as good, it's still better than any crap you're gonna go buy at some mass-produced thing wrapped in plastic twice individually, and then in the outside, and then in a box or something. I don't know. homemade's homemade. You know, it's made with love. You can actually taste the love. And my kids, everybody likes the scones, and it's all the flavors you put in it. So of course I like to cut my butter up into little pieces because it doesn't mess with my my gears on my mixer as much. And it helps it soften up. I didn't take this out as early as I wanted to because I was getting everything out and I forgot. So anyway, what we're using here is 4 sticks of butter, which is equivalent to 2 cups of butter, which is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 400. What's 13 times 4? 9 times, let's see, 3 times 4 is 12. 352 grams, I think. 113 grams per stick of butter. So I cut it in half once, cut it in half again. I always keep it on the paper, then I don't get a big mess on my table. And last one. But these are so good, it's so simple. There's a lot of recipes out there for scones. I found this one, I've kind of modified it a couple of times because I've cut the sugar in it. And I had to modify the amount of liquid because they were coming out too soft for my liking. So I made it a little less. And this original recipe actually called for buttermilk. I don't usually keep buttermilk around, it's not something I use. Sorry, throw that away real quick. And we're gonna keep clean as we go along here. So we've got the butter. Just gonna give that a couple of mixes here. Just to break up the little pieces. And we're gonna go ahead and put the sugar in. So the sugar is 2 cups of sugar. Let's see, I'm using my 1/3 measure because it fits in this cup better. So we're gonna put 6 of these. And this is already my cut down. Think about it, quadruple batch. In each batch, which would make you normally 8 good sized scones, there's only half a cup in each batch of 8 scones. So think there's only, if there's half a cup, it's probably not even a teaspoon of sugar in each scone. That's not too bad. 2, 3, 1. So I'm using the 1/3 cup measure because it fits in my little bowl better. There we go. I got just a little bit left to do what I need to do afterwards. Okay, we're gonna mix this together. A little faster. Okay, now we are going to, because I used unsalted butter, I'm going to put in a teaspoon. This is my demi-tasse spoon. So I'm going to put in a little bit of salt into my flour because I'm using unsalted butter, so I will add a little salt. If you use salted butter, this needs no extra salt, okay? And then, I do need a regular teaspoon size. Ta-da! So we have 10 cups of flour. We are using 10 teaspoons. I could probably measure it out differently, but anyway, it's a teaspoon per cup, you know. Crap, what was that, 4? I hope 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just in case I had in case I messed up, half a teaspoon won't matter. And then we are putting in just 2 teaspoons of baking soda. I haven't used this one in a while. Okay, 1, 2. So I'm just gonna put these back here. And I'm just gonna give this a little mix together. It doesn't have to be, 100% mixed, because it's gonna mix in there. Now we're gonna mix this in our liquid. So I have here a 1.5 cups of milk. Now, it calls for buttermilk, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put in, this is my white vinegar. I'm just gonna put in, 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. So what this does, this is how you make buttermilk, which has a little sourness to it. And you can feel when you stir it, it gets a little thick. It's kind of curdles. I know, doesn't sound great, but it does great in your baking. Okay, so we are going to add our flour. And a little bit of milk. So we're just alternating back and forth between the dry and the wet. And I'm doing it slow because this is going to be pretty full. So, just saying. Okay, so now this is getting very thick and it's almost come together. I'm going to give it 2 more spins in here. I'm going to turn it out here and then I will knead it all together, but not too much. I don't want it all to, you don't want to ever, anytime you're making any kind of baking, you don't want to over mix the butter in. Okay, so it's a big, almost crumbly, wonderful dough, which when I take it out, will all be very nice here on the Now, like I said, don't forget, I'm making a quadruple batch, and not everybody makes a quadruple batch, but whether I'm doing it, if I'm doing it on camera or not, this is still my Thanksgiving Day scones, and I have 6 kids, and they like to eat. So, we are just going to put this all together. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is put this all together. I know it seems kind of crazy and it's a big ball of dough, but what I want is I want evenly sized discs. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll make this into one big ball. And I know you guys probably aren't going to do a quadruple batch like me, but I'm telling you, if you do it, these things last in the freezer for a good long while. So whether you use them for Christmas, or Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or New Year's, or Hanukkah, or whatever, any holiday, or just Sunday morning. Okay, so I've got this beautiful, nice, uniformly round ball. So I'm going to cut it in half. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, but it gives me the approximate. Then I'm going to take each one of these halves and cut them in half. Now, if I was making the mini scones, I'd then take these pieces and cut them in half again. So actually, I will probably do that, but I'm going to make these are my flavors now, and I'm going to show you how I make my different flavors and put my additions. This is my base scone dough. Now, if you want to just make one flavor, then you can go ahead and mix some of the flavors in the beginning. Like if you're going to do the cranberry orange, if you want to put the orange zest directly into the batter, you can do that. You can put a little orange juice in there with the milk. Let it be kind of like your vinegar. I don't usually need a rolling pin, but you can. I'm just going to flatten it out a little. And we're going to do the cranberry orange first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zest some orange into the inner workings. No skin. Oh. So we've got some zest in here, and we're going to take some of these cranberries and they're like half frozen now. I'm just going to take some of these and throw them in the middle. You can put them in whole, but I prefer them in half. They just seem to cut, I don't know, spread out better and get a little bit of the cranberry juices flowing in there. You can put as many or as little as you'd like. I usually fill up kind of like 1/2 of it, because then I'm going to fold it over. And you can cut them up ahead of time. You can do this with, now these are fresh cranberries that I bought like a week or so ago because they're organic, and I bought them and I stuck them in the freezer. But you can do them as their regular fresh unfrozen as well. Works the same either way. So, okay, so I've got this half full. I'm just going to fold it over. And you know, the other, you can do like this. You can throw a little teeny bit of cinnamon in there. That's always good. And then we're just gonna fold it in half. And then I'm just gonna kind of knead it. Oops, runaway cranberry. Just kind of smush it all together. And then I'm gonna do another layer. So this is not traditional scones. I don't know how to do traditional scones because I've never made them with anybody who's English. So I don't know, but this is the way that I have made them mine and able to make lots of different flavors in one batch. So, you know, it works for me. Okay, some more. And I'm gonna put a little bit more zest inside. Boy, this orange is so, of course it's a nice organic orange, because if I'm gonna use the skin, I don't want any crap on it. Okay. Oh, there's zest down there. Smear it all in. Yeah. And we're gonna put all this in here. And some of them are gonna ooze out, and I'm gonna just kind of turn it all into a big disc. I've got like 2 layers of filling inside. So now I'm just gonna make it into a perfect circle. And I'm going to then decorate the top with a little more zest. And I don't tend to very often add extra sugar to these. They're not very sweet, but I'm gonna, you know, it's a holiday. I'm gonna add just a little teeny bit. Just rub this all around, get that flavor on there. I'm gonna put just a little teeny bit of granulated sugar around the top, just for a little sweet bite with the orange. Okay, so now I have this. So now what I'm gonna do, this is how I do it. Of course, I have the great big plastic wrap, but you can do it with your smaller one for your normal home one. So I'm just gonna take this as it is. So I've got this nice big disc, and I'm just going to wrap it up. Turn it, make sure it's fully covered, and then just like this, make sure I can still shape it in here. You know, it's about 1 inch thick, you know, inch or a little 1.25 inches thick. And then I just put these in the freezer, and Thanksgiving morning, we will take them out and cut them up and put them in the oven, and boom, I've got breakfast and snacks up until it's time to eat. So let me put this one in the freezer. So now we're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna save the pumpkin one for last, because I haven't done pumpkin before, and I may end up needing to add a little flour, because that's a little extra kind of softness. So we'll just get this rolled out a little. See the chunks of butter. You always know when it sticks that there's a chunk of butter underneath. Uh-oh. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's do some cinnamon brown sugar and raisin. Or cinnamon raisin. We'll put some cinnamon in here. We're gonna put some, I like the golden raisins. Something about them. Makes it like a cinnamon roll. Push those in. A little bit of organic brown sugar. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit, because I don't want it to be too sweet, but you do need that little bit of brown sugar. Okay. Oops, random raisin. Fold that over. Just smush it all together. And do it again. Let's just get it up. A little cinnamon. Spread that around. Love cinnamon. And some raisins. These, I never know which one's my favorite. I like the ones that have something in them. So like the cinnamon raisin, the blueberry, I make cinnamon blueberry. But I'm not doing those today. I use those, usually do that with frozen blueberries though, because the regular ones are just too soft in the batter. The fresh ones. More raisins here. A little bit of brown sugar. And again, not too much, just it's probably 2 teaspoons worth in each side. And then I'm just going to fold this over again. And now I'm just gonna kind of form it. It's very random. It's not an exact art. I found 2 random, I did find 2 random raisins though. Stick these in. And it's okay if some of this cinnamon is showing through. It makes it kind of marbled and pretty. Okay, so I make my nice disc. Make a nice circle. And then with this one, I'll put a little bit more cinnamon on top. And just a very light sprinkling of the brown sugar on the tippy top. And that's that. And then once again, with the plastic wrap, I'm going to pick up this nice, perfectly round disc. And kind of turn it to get both sides. No open edges. I don't want any frostbite on these babies. Freezer burn, frostbite, freezer burn. You know how it is. Make a nice shape, and then they're just so beautiful. Okay, next flavor. You know, I think the last one, I think I'm gonna make actually, well, we're gonna do this pumpkin thing. So now we have another one. Now this one's gonna be interesting. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this a little different because I have never done with the pumpkin before. I'm gonna throw it back in the mixer and I'm gonna mix the pumpkin in with it. You know, we're experimenting here together. So this morning, I cooked up some of this nice pumpkin. It's very soft. I drained it here in my little colander. I'm gonna show you really quickly what I did. So for your going forward for your pumpkin pies, the big giant crook neck squash, the ones that look like a butternut squash, but they got the really big neck on them that you can kind of put around your neck. A lot of commercial pumpkin pies are made with those, and a lot of those squashes that I used this fall. So yesterday I sat down at my table, had my big giant crook neck squash, and I sat and I cut it in pieces, and I peeled it, and I cut it up into all these little cubes. So I've got 2 containers here. I wanted to show you. It made these 2 full containers of cut up squash, which some of this I'm gonna finish cooking and will be some of my pumpkin pies. I also have Hubbard squash, my favorite one that I discovered this year, that I already cooked, drained, and it's in my freezer. So I have my own canned pumpkin, so to speak, that I'm gonna make some of my pies with. But I just wanted to show this to you. So it's the same stuff that I'm using, that I'm gonna put a little bit in here. So I'm just gonna use, let's see here. That's 1/3, a little bit more. Let's say half a, just because it's one little batch, I'm gonna start with half a cup and see how it comes out. Because it's gonna get a little moist, so I'll see if it's not too wet. Let's see. Now that totally smells like pumpkin, and it's definitely more wet. But you know what I'm gonna do while it's in there? I'm going to add a little bit of pumpkin flavors pumpkin pie flavors. I'm gonna put a little bit of nutmeg in there. And a little bit of cinnamon. We might as well mix it in with the dough. And because I didn't puree this, there's gonna probably end up some little chunks of pumpkin in the dough, kind of like when I made my muffins this way. Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. Okay, I definitely need some more flour. I couldn't find my 1 cup measure because I left it in the big flour bag. I'm just gonna put a little bit in there. Probably the equivalent of 2 or 3 tablespoons. Maybe 2. 3/4 of a cup total. All right, it's still softer. Now, so we put in about a 1/2 cup, not even 1/2 cup of pumpkin. So it's probably taking a full cup extra of flour. When you're doing something like this and you're modifying a recipe like we're doing right now, making something up. I've never made pumpkin scones before. I've made pumpkin muffins. I've made pumpkin cookies, bread, you name it. But I've never done the pumpkin scones. And this morning I was thinking, because I had just cut those up, that we're going to try it. And so this is how you learn and this is how you modify something. Okay, so I added this much extra wet. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more of, the dry to offset it. If it ends up being a lot more, let's just say it was 2 extra cups of flour, I might put a little extra tidbit of baking powder in there, but we're gonna see here. So, it's still a little wetter than the dough I made the other ones with, but it's okay. It's dry enough to work with. It's not mushy, so I'm gonna go with it. And we'll see, maybe they're gonna come out a little lighter because they're less dough dense, or they might come out moister because they've got the pumpkin in there, but I'm sure they're gonna taste good and it's gonna be something different. Okay. A little bit of flour in the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna use the rolling pin because this is a lot wetter. Actually, not a lot, just a little. But I'm telling you, that smells good. So now, yeah, 1 more round. Okay, now I've got this nice disc, and it has nice pumpkin aroma to it. So let's see, what should we put inside? You know what I want to do? I think I'm going to do something a little bit pinky. Put a little bit of flour on the bottom here just so it doesn't get too sticky. I think I'm going to put a little more pumpkin on the inside, some little chunks, because it actually did totally break down. So let's do this. Let's just take a little bit of this and put it on the inside. Just kind of, not too much, just we'll spread it around. Let's put some cinnamon in here. And I think, a little bit of, let's just do a little bit of regular sugar. Just a little. I think that this is going to be yummy. This is fun. I like creating something new. Put a little bit more in this side. So I have some little pieces. And back with my little bit of cinnamon. Hi, Angel. Hi. What was I doing? Ah, a little bit of sugar. Let me say hello. My girl's home. Makes me happy. Okay. And now we have some pumpkin scones. So I've got it all, I'm sealing it all into the middle. This probably would have been good with cranberries inside or raisins. This is probably gonna have some moisture in it. That's okay, it's gonna be fun. Okay, make my big circle. So this one's a little bigger because it has a little extra dough in it. All right, I'm gonna get this baby. So you can see some of the pumpkin is kind of oozing out a little bit. But hey, we'll find out Thanksgiving morning. Actually, so for us, we're not doing Thanksgiving on Thursday. We're doing Thanksgiving on Saturday because, you know, I have 6 kids. So sometime in the future, those 6 kids are going to get married and they're all going to have other halves of their family, their spouses' families. I'll have 5 daughter-in-laws and 1 son-in-law someday, hopefully. And so I've already decided that I'm going to be the one that's going to give in ahead of time and say, you know what, we're going to do our Thanksgiving on Saturday. So that way, if they want to hit both families, they can. Okay, pumpkin going into the freezer. And then this one, what I'm going to do with this last piece is I'm going to cut this one in half and make some minis. So that way I'll have some big ones and I'll have some minis. And I'll probably just do this. I like this, I don't know, I like them all, but I'll probably just do this one cinnamon raisin because that's always a hit. And the last one, maybe I'll do some without. I'll do some cinnamon sugar and there's always somebody who doesn't like raisins. So I'm going to make one of the minis with raisins and one without. So a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of raisins. Fold it over. Smush it together. See, it's like a nice little pattern. You know, sprinkle it, smush it, or fold it, smush it, smush it. Sprinkle. Sprinkle, fold over, smush it, pick it up, and got some minis. So then these will cut up into small scones that are only about, you know, that big, but they're nice. So put that one aside for a minute. We'll put the raisins aside. So I'm gonna make one without, it'll just be cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon, brown sugar, fold over, smush together. Cinnamon, brown sugar, fold over, smush together. It's kind of cool because when you bake them, you end up seeing the little stripes inside the scones. It's kind of cool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is to differentiate the one that doesn't have the raisins. This one, I'm going to just sprinkle the top with cinnamon and some brown sugar. And this one, I'm going to put a couple raisins on top, just for, so I know when I go to cut them, that these have raisins in them. So I'm going to kind of go all the way around in the circle. So that way each slice has a raisin or 2 on it, so we know. Just kind of decorating the top, smushing them in. Okay. And voila. Have minis of your favorite flavor, or whatever's easiest at the end when you're kind of done and you don't feel like making anymore. Go with the easy one. but everybody likes cinnamon raisin. So now we have, so what did we make? We made pumpkin, we made cinnamon raisin, and then some plain cinnamon, sugar, cranberry orange. Yeah, that was it. Cinnamon raisin, cranberry orange, and pumpkin. So 3 really good flavors that go with the fall. These are gonna go in the freezer, like I said. Use your cutter like this, your bench scraper, or a big knife. Give them just like 5 minutes out. They slice very easily, but do them while they're still, mostly frozen, because they slice real easy that way. And this is just a great thing that you can have with your cappuccino. You can have with a glass of milk. They're great just as the anybody is running by while I'm cooking. I leave them on the counter, and they're there for anybody to grab a snack during the course of the day while I'm doing my main cooking. I'll still have some other things. I'll have a bowl of fruit out. If I have time, I may make some cornetti with the raspberry jam inside. I'm not sure. I may make something else. But these are just a couple things that I make ahead of time that I can put in the freezer. And this is great for any holiday. So you can do it for, like I said, for ahead of time for a birthday, or ahead of time for whatever. And it's been nice, because sometimes if I have leftover, then I don't use them all. Because these take 15, 20 minutes to cook, maybe 25 depending on your oven. Usually around 350, 375, standard baking. If and when I ever don't say something, just go with the 350 to 375 for your basic baking, unless I say otherwise. But anyway, but these are great to have on hand. And sometimes it's just fun one day, just make a bunch and throw them in the freezer, and you've got them for the week coming up. For breakfast, you can just take one out, one disc out, one flavor, and throw them in. So, it's really an easy thing to have, but it's great and it's festive, and you can make the flavors to go with the seasons. And of course, these are great for the fall. So perfect for Thanksgiving, perfect for Christmas, and or even like, these are really good for, like, have these on hand for New Year's morning, because like Christmas morning and New Year's morning, you're exhausted and you don't want to do anything, but you want to have something, and you need something to soak up the night before from New Year's or whatever. You have some, just throw them in the oven, and boom, you're done. And you have a nice hot homemade breakfast that took you no effort whatsoever. So these are really good to have. Okay, so all my scones are in the freezer. So now I have my breakfast for Thanksgiving morning all set. And, so I have, let's see, I made 4 discs. So the 3 big ones will make 8 times 3, that's 24 big scones. And then I'll have 16 little scones. So that's a good amount of scones for the, the 8 plus 2 of us that will be here, for the whole weekend. Me and Pat, my 6 kids, and the couple girlfriends. So I'm excited. I'm really excited, and these are things everybody likes, and they are vegetarian, because there's no there's no meat in them. They're not savory. You can make savory ones too. What's really good? Shred some cheese and some pancetta, cook some pancetta, and you can make some savory ones. Oh, you can do that with muffins, pancetta and some cheese, even some little greens in there. Really yummy, but we'll do that another time. But this is good for a festive holiday morning. So, with all this stuff that's going on in the holidays, and I'm doing my best to come on as often as I can and bring you as much of what I consider real life. This is what I do for real at home, not fancy schmancy, but simple and homey. And every now and then we have a fancy schmancy meal, and I will share those with you. But I really am thrilled that you guys are still here with me. Everything's growing. My YouTube channel, I'm up to 912. So I only need, 88 more to make 1,000. That's my dream, my goal, just to have that quadruple digit, So I'm really happy, and just a lot of good things I know are coming our way. We have learned a lot this year. I hope we've learned a lot this year. It's been crazy. Everybody's stressing over Thanksgiving and the upcoming holidays, but remember, now's the perfect time to practice some new things, so that when you come back together with everybody you wanted to be with this year, when we come back together next year, or as soon as it's humanly possible, you're gonna have all these great new things to share and talk about, and it's conversation. topics like, oh, I learned this or I learned that, and I found out this about our history, or this is a tradition from our background or our heritage or whatever, and you bring it to the family all new, it's going to be so exciting and it's going to be so much fun. So I see from a distance, I see chocolate chips. I'll be honest with you. Yes, chocolate chips. If you like chocolate chips in your scones, you absolutely can do that. What I would recommend is the mini chips because they would spread out more. I like the fruity kind of things in my scones, but you can put in like chocolate chips with cinnamon. Oh, that would be really yummy. I'm not the biggest fan of the chocolate, and we're gonna have enough other sweets on Thanksgiving, so I figured I'll keep my little bit of brown sugar and my fruits, my cranberries and my orange and my raisins and my blueberries, those kind of things I tend to leave in the scones. But yeah, chocolate chips are really good in the scones, and a lot of people do like those. I have done them before. They are very popular too. But this is what I wanted to make this round, and I wanted to do the pumpkin as something new and see how it comes out. So I'll let you know if they don't come out too squishy mushy with those soft pieces of pumpkin inside, but that's how we learn. It's one disc. If they're not that great, I'll eat them and everybody else can eat the rest of them, you know, because I'll like them, I know, because the flavors are there. So we'll see how it all comes out. But that's, you know, kitchen experiments. So if anybody has any questions, you know, send them in the group, in the chat here. If you are watching, and especially if it's your first time watching, please say hi and let me know that it's your first time watching. I'd really appreciate that. And those of you who keep coming back, you know I love you because you're just the reason I keep coming back. So I really thank you. I'm not going to go sit down today. We are talking now here, and I'm just really happy that, you know, I've got 4 of my 6 kids home for the next 10 days, and I'm really excited. Everybody's been tested, everybody's being safe, and everybody's pretty much staying here, and we're just kind of staying close to the cup, but we're enjoying each other's company. I took some pictures. I had like my kids strewn across the living room last night, who's on the couch, the chair, the floor, watching. We were all binging NCIS, which I love, and it just made me so happy that they're all here. And just hearing their voices and hearing them chase each other around, my boys still chase each other around, it just, even if they're, you know, bickering for a minute, hey, that's my shirt, that's my hat, you know, it doesn't matter. That makes it, yeah, I'm yelling at them, oh, stop it, you know, but it makes me happy. The fray, the noise, the happiness, it's a joyful noise, as they say. So today's Monday. I will see you at least 2 or 3 more times this week. So most likely tomorrow. I may come at a couple off times, so please pay attention to hitting the little notification bell here on Facebook so you get notified when I come live. That way, because I'm not sure, I may just keep coming on at 11ish, but I may come on at an odd time, so be prepared for that. And I've been getting a little better at getting these videos up on YouTube, and I've been putting them in playlists, so if you just want to look up desserts, all you got to do is hit the dessert playlist. Anything that falls in that category will be in there. And a dessert playlist, a dessert video might also fall into the cookie category, and it will be in the cookie playlist, because some people just want cookies. Cookies are popular. So anyway, so I'm trying to make it organized for you guys so you can come back and find stuff easy. So I hope that you like that. And anybody who's ever got suggestions, please let me know. I am very thankful. I think each day I'm going to tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful that you are here and have helped me turn my business into a different direction, and my mission into a place where it can be seen more. And let's all get back to the table, because this back to the table movement in 2021 is going to get huge. We're going to make it big and let everybody know it so that we can all live healthier, happier lives. Love you guys. I will see you all when I see you next. Ciao. Mwah.